So let's talk a little bit about practice. Practice. It's something that can benefit everybody. Um, so we practice a lot of things in class. We learn standing, we learn Qigong, we do forms, we talk about Tai Chi walking, all these different things. So I want to kind of help give a guideline on how to practice, what to practice. And one thing about practice is, I don't know if you saw the thing I wrote for the American Tai Chi and Qigong Association about tips about practice. Consistency is going to be better than like maybe 1 or 2 practices a week. Like if I practice an hour every Saturday or 2 hours every Saturday, it's probably better for me to practice 5 to 10 minutes every day if that's all I have than to try and build up in one day. I find that if you start practicing for like 5 minutes, you're going to do more than 5 minutes, probably, hopefully, because there's so many different things to practice, maybe 10 minutes. I had a teacher, he was practicing 6 hours a day. I never made it up to 6 hours a day, but I've done like 2 hours a day, and that's because I was doing a lot of things. I was doing the half-hour standing, Tai Chi ball, working sword, weapons, doing forms, all those different things. But if you're not doing weapons or anything like that, I would say at least try to get in like 20 minutes, work up to 20 minutes a day. And then, if you have time, maybe up to an hour, or depending on what your goals are for Tai Chi. So practice, let's ask, what's your practice, Larry? What does it consist of?
Well, I practice every day, and I start with a little bit of loosening up, warming up a bit, and I always do the bow, because the bow is a qigong. It's a way of, I think, getting started. I always do at least some form of qigong, and I always do at least most of the forms, usually all 3 sections, but at least a couple. And that usually takes me a good half hour.
Good, yeah. So you start with like a warm up, loosening the joints, and then you do qigong. Well, you do the bow first, right? You do the bow.
The bow is,
because that's a form of qigong. Plus, it's an appreciation, right? Whatever you're thankful for, which is always good to be grateful for things.
and I always end with it also.
And you end with it as well. So you got the bow, the stretching, qigong, and then some form work. And what else did you say after the form work?
I think I might have stopped with the form.
Okay, yeah. So that's a pretty good practice. So
and I do the bow.
yeah, that's exactly what I'm getting at. So having an order of things sometimes helps, and you can mix the order up. Like I like to start with kind of like Larry. I'll do the bow first. So I'm not gonna number these because you can put them in any order, but maybe start off with the bow. And I like to do standing first. So I like to do my standing, get that out of the way. And standing can consist of our tree hug, which we call Janjong. How you spell John? I think I spelled it right. U-A-N-G. That's a U.
It does look like you.
Okay. Looks like me. All right, or it could be maybe Wuji standing.
That's what I like to do. I like to do Wuji and practice my Ting for a bit before I get started.
Yeah, well, I would like to know about your practice as well. So Janjong, Wuji, and then, also we were doing our crane single leg stance, crane or single leg, and our raised hands posture. So what I do is like, I think I mentioned it to you guys before, is one day I'll do like 30 minutes of the Janjong, and then the next day I'll do 5 minutes switching up stances, doing starting off kind of like Wuji or like a bear stance, and then doing the cross hands 5 minutes, and then going to the crane for 5 minutes, and then do raised hands for 5 minutes, and then do tree hug for 5 minutes. So it'll wind up being 6 different postures for 5 minutes, which will equal a half hour. And then after I do my standing, then that's when I'll do like, sometimes I'll substitute these, but I'll do this, I'll do the grounding. Sometimes I'll ground first and then go into my standing. Sometimes I'll stand first and go into the grounding. I guess it depends on how I feel. There's no logical order to that. But it does feel different, like when I ground first and then I stand, like the energy, like you were talking about, the energy is more open. I think that was you from the meridians opening up when you're grounding, stuff like that. Well, I stand first and then ground, I don't know if there's a big difference. But then after that, we'll do like some form work. So I know about 13 different forms, right? So at one point I was doing all of them every day. And then plus all the different weapons and the Tai Chi ball and the 8 energies and 4 energies. And that's why it was taking me sometimes a little more than 2 hours, but it was taking me 2 hours or more, which is good practice. But nowadays I kind of pick, like I'll say, okay, Monday and Wednesday and Friday, maybe I'll do the Chin style forms. Tuesday, Thursday, maybe I'll do Yang style. And maybe I'll do a couple weapons this day, a couple weapons that day. But whatever forms you're gonna do, just go ahead and, well, we're doing one form right now, right? So do your form. And you don't always have to go through the whole sequence of the forms. You can pick out a couple of movements. It can be movements, not only the new movement that you're working on, but maybe movements that you feel good about doing. Like I like to do this one. I don't know if I ever mentioned to you. I'd like to just do a ward off and roll back. Just do it again. Repeat it, ward off, roll back. And then start getting into the depth of the movement. Like, am I relaxed enough? Am I in the legs? Am I moving from the dantian? How's my breathing? Just kind of flowing with it. And that's something that you don't necessarily have to do during practice time. You can do it while you're waiting on your tea, water to boil, or your coffee or something like that in the kitchen. Just kind of, But when you're working on like your new movements, maybe check out the video, look at it, and then go ahead and practice that, things like that. So after I would do that, so this is not us yet. Maybe if people want to learn sword in the future. But after that, then maybe do like your weapons, whatever you're gonna do. Can you work a sword, Pam? Are you ready? We'll give it some time, right? We'll wait.
I've seen a fan too.
Fan, that's right, yeah. So,
I have to get a smaller fan. I'm hurting myself with the big one.
you have the 13 or 15 inch or
I think
something?
I think it's 15.
Yeah,
Feels
probably
like
15, yeah. So yeah, if you wanna learn fan, after we learn the form pretty good, we do fan, stuff like that. So just give you an idea of what I do, so you can kind of tailor your practice around it. And I like to practice early in the morning. I like to kind of get it out of the way, so that way, as the rest of the day goes by, certain things don't pop up. Like if I say, all right, I'm gonna practice when I get home from work at 6 o'clock or something like that. And then somebody calls, you gotta go to the grocery store, whatever it may be, something comes up, or maybe you're tired, you don't even feel like practicing at 6. So you go, oh, I'll just practice tomorrow, so it's better to get it out the way. So, Kevin, what's your practice like?
I try to do it every day. I'm not perfect.
Right.
But I like to do it in the morning.
Mm-hmm.
I always have a cup of coffee first. That's been ingrained forever with me.
Coffee.
And then I like to do the warm-ups first, and then I'll do Wuji, and just do that for a few minutes, 4 or 5 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'll practice my form that I know. I'll go through as much as I know,
Mm-hmm.
and then I'll work on the last steps that I'm still trying to learn.
Yeah, so that's a good solid practice there. And yeah, you don't have to do every single day, but you want to have some form of consistency, or at least practicing outside of class a little bit. So that's
Lately I've been throwing in standing.
good.
I'm timing myself.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, standing's gonna really change the quality of your form. You're gonna be able to see and feel that sinking. I'll see it, I'll notice. I know when people are standing, it changes everything about their form, the way they're able to sink and relax into the quad. the verticality, things like that.
And kind of one of Kevin's point, if I don't do Wu Ji really at the beginning, I don't do very well to do that. And certainly before Qigong, other than the bow, the Wu Ji, I think is really very important. I have to admit that I got up to a half hour, holding here during the
Excellent.
summer, but I can do it outside. It's harder for me to get into it inside.
Mm-hmm.
But, yeah, Wuji, I think, is extremely important, I think, to get going, at least for me.
Yeah. I think that's why they put it the way they did in the front of the form. A lot of times, in class, when we step out, right, we don't stand here very long, we just kind of sink and settle, and then we go right to our opening posture. But it's a good practice, like, to just stand here for a while, breathe, get centered, relax, clear the mind. Doesn't matter how long, just be at peace. And then go ahead but because we're, I always have an agenda in class, we don't always do that, or we don't do it very often. But it's good to kind of mention that and have that in your practice, your personal practice. You'll be surprised at how good you do. And you'll feel great. Yeah, your legs might feel it a little bit, but when you get into the longer minutes of standing is when it really benefits you. So.
I haven't got past 4 minutes yet. At 4 minutes, my arms are aching.
Yeah. And
Which is weird because you're not doing anything, It's like, why are they aching?
You're doing something. You're fighting gravity.
Against gravity.
And you're working those muscles. So like I think I was mentioning before that change is never easy, right? Whether any type of change, but this is changing our body, and it's not easy. And it builds that pung, that ward off ability, and the structure that we want. So that when we actually do our form and we hold that arm up, it's effortless, but we have a certain strength that we've already built in the body. So we're only holding the postures, a couple seconds, whereas we're holding this for minutes and minutes. So this is our training to build the Tai Chi body, and then we can express it later. Just like with the legs, when we train the legs so that when we step, it looks easy and light and effortless. And people look at Tai Chi and they say, it looks so easy. I think I can do that. Or what the hell are they doing? But they don't know we're getting the leg workout every single day. That's if we're relaxing into the legs.
The holding the ball, I find helps me with this posture, and also it helps because as my arms start to get more tired and my shoulders are starting to get stiff, holding the ball seems to help me concentrate the intention or the yi up in through here, and it actually feels like it's making it lighter, and I'm able to hold the stance better. For some reason, it also seems to help me keep my knees over my toes as opposed to going out or in, which I am prone to do. So the holding the ball helps me use the knee to help me hold the stance longer.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
Yeah, it does. And you're mentioning about the opening posture. I guess you were comparing it like when you use the E.
Yes, because I find that it's much better now that when you taught us about the yi, that my arms actually do float up better and actually flow down, and I feel the energy better doing it.
Excellent.
That may actually have been why I started thinking about holding the ball and using the yi to help me hold the stance, but I actually did make it to 30 minutes.
Yeah, and I can see the sunken quality in your legs and in your quad, which is exactly what I was talking about.
Instead of, your brain is focused on, oh my God, my arms, I feel like they're gonna fall off. I try and refocus, I practice my Ting and try and find something else in my body that I need to adjust, and then it takes my mind off my arms, and then I just forget that they're heavy.
Both are good methods. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know whether it's right or not.
No, what works is right. What, yeah.
What was it you were thinking about, Kevin? You said you put your mind somewhere else, what was it?
I said I
Jin.
use my ting
Oh, Ting, to
to
listen.
listen to the rest of my body, to take my focus off of.
Actually, going back to Larry's, so he's thinking about a ball. Another name for this posture, they call it tree hug posture, but another name is called embrace the moon, as if you're like holding the moon.
We missed the full moon Monday night.
We did. Oh man, I was like, I'm not going out there. Plus, it was too cloudy too.
No, it wasn't.
Yeah.
Couldn't see it.
Yeah,
That's right.
they say you can't do it when it's cloudy because it'll have adverse effects. You got to really have a clear moon. But yeah, I think I do similar to probably both of you. Like I'll try and like you said, listen and adjust and just stay conscious of the body. Try to take my mind off the arms. I've heard some people actually say they think about their arms floating on clouds, like they're being supported by like some soft cottony kind of thing, and that helps them. There's actually some visuals you can do where this is more intense. This is not taking away from anything. It's probably adding to it. It's adding more. But if I'm standing here and I've got the quad open and my arms are here, so I can picture like stretchy bands. I can picture stretchy bands from the wall to my elbow, kind of pulling my arms apart. Maybe some pulling from the ceiling, pulling my arms up and down, like in all directions. Some at the knees, pulling out at the waist. So I'm expanding in all directions. I got these stretchy bands mentally, and it builds a kind of a structure or pong energy just with that intention alone. It's a really interesting feeling, but I find I can't do that for too long. It almost feels real. It's like,
Quit pulling.
right.
Well, when I'm like that and it's like killing me, I have to always go back to getting my crown up and my tailbone all tucked under, because then you're much better prepared to hold your arms like that. Your muscles are in a better position.
That's a very good point.
That's what I just
That's
like,
a very-
go up, because it takes me 1 second and my head is like this.
Mm-hmm.
And then I try to get it, and then it's like that. I have to keep always
Yeah.
pulling it back, and then that makes your shoulders in a lot better place.
I'm glad you brought that up. Yeah, because as I mentioned before, I was always thinking about going down, and that's putting a lot on the joints as well. So you have to have that upward as well. So when she's saying is when she pulls her head up, it helps to relieve some of that ache in the shoulders and the upper back. So you have the yin and yang, the down and the. Very good point, Pam. Thank you.